So in this tutorial, we'll follow up from the last tutorial where I showed you how to import multiple data frames from different data sources, multiple and different data sources. So in this tutorial, what we'll do, I will then join that data, do a join to create one new result. So if you haven't checked out the last tutorial, then definitely check it out. I'll leave a link in the description, and then you can click on that, and then that will bring you up to speed for this one, where we're going to use the same script but then just update it just to do that join on the data frames. So yeah, I'll just go into the folder. And I'm going to copy the last script which I did, which was the Mongo connection. So these two scripts are quite similar. Again, they're on the GitHub page. I'll leave links in the description. And if you don't have Mongo installed, then and you want to follow on with this particular tutorial, then I recommend using the JSON CSV one. That way, you can get the data, reference the data from this folder where I've got these data files, and it's exactly the same data as to what I'm going to start working on with what I pull in from the MongoDB collection. So yeah, so what I'll do, I'll just copy that, and I'm going to call that 060201 join df.py. Yeah, I'll call that Mongo as well. Okay. And what I'll do, I'll just go into Vim. And this is where we left off on the last tutorial. So I'll just make some space over here. And this is going to be extremely easy. So I'm just going to say data frame equals df followers. So I'll just type out followers and I'll explain the rest. So over here, this is where we pull in our data for two tables or two collections. One is called followers, one is called friends. Sorry, up here, followers and friends. And then I'm creating two new data frames where I'm just selecting specific columns that I need to reduce that data a bit. Then I'm just showing those what those tables look like over here, and then over here I'm creating a new data frame, and then I'm going to show that data to the terminal. So this is where I now write my join. So that will be join, and what I'm going to do is a left join. You could do a left join, right join, full outer join, you know, just an ordinary join. You know, it's quite versatile in what you can do. So to start off with, I'm going to join the followers table to the friends table, Now, um, it's better if I run this data and then I explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So let's just get the result first. So that will be a df friends, comma df followers, and I want to join the screen name of followers to df friends. And I want to specify how, which will be a left join. Now, if I wanted to do a right join, then I'll just say right, and if I want to do other joins, I can just specify what they are as well. So that's how easy the code is, but I want to do a left join, and I want to do a left join for a specific reason on those two data frames. So then what I want to do a show of that table. Sorry, print df dot show. And I want to get all of the rows back. So I'll do a df count of those rows when I do the show. And right at the end, right at the bottom, I just want to do that again. But I just want to print out a count, the number of rows that get returned. Okay. And let's give that a spin. Let's just open it up a little bit so you can see it. Right, so let's take a look at that. And what I'll do is just minimize that a bit. Hope you can see that. So this is my join table. So I've got my followers, I've got my friends, and I've done a left join of my friends to my followers. And so I've done the join on screen name, and so the whole purpose of doing that is so. Sorry, I'm really I really wish this was sort of like better formatted so you can see it. Um, so where we have where we can see the join occurred, like the rest of it's nulls, but where we can see the join occurred, we can see that um, this particular Twitter page, the Museum of Youth Culture, they have their followers, and so the whole purpose of doing this, I wanted to find out of their followers who are they following back. So who they're following back would be in their friends' data. And so if there's a join, it means that person is following them and they're following them back. And so the reason why I've got followers count in here and followers friends count, followers count and friends count, is because I want to see is there anyone who's significant that's following them, which they should then be following back. So let's blow this up a little bit more. So looking at some of these counts, so this is the followers count, and so for example, who they're following back, that person has 1,931 followers, and so I can see that looking at some of these numbers, I can see that they are following back people of importance, but there's some that they're missing, like this person, for example. This person, they're not following them, and they've got 6,901 followers. So that could be a person who's influential. And then this person, for example, you've got 2,444. So let's just, and here's another one, 5,000. So let's just quickly go down, and we can see. So this one over here, that's 25,000 followers. Okay, that's cool. They're following that person back. Are there any other larger ones? This person over here, that person could be quite important. It's the Ace Cafe London. And that's really important actually, because there is over the years there's been a huge amount of influential youth culture that have occurred around Ace Cafe. It's a motorcycling cafe in West London, and up until, going all the way back from the 50s, you had people on bikes all the way up until the modern times, people on sports bikes who gather. Yeah, so that's a bit of history on the sports cafe. Who else is there? So yeah, so I could run another query where I just sort by followers count, or I could do a greater than, over a certain number, and I can get like the most important based on followers count. So there's different ways I can chop that data up. There's still a bit I want to show you. I'm not going to show you that just now. There's still a bit I want to show you. So that's a really easy way of doing a left join. It's so simple. So just one line of code allows you to do that. But you might not want to do that, hard coding that in a script. You might want to have the flexibility of doing something within SQL, and and the reason why you want to put it in SQL is because you don't really want to sort of hard code some of these values where you're saying, give me this specific column, give me this specific table. You want to be a little bit more flexible if you want to put some dynamic variables and other bits of logic. You want to make it, you might want to write this as a class, for example, and then reuse it for any specific reason. those of you which do a lot of Python coding or coding in general, that should click with you. So why you'd want to do that. And so what I'll do, I'll show you something a little bit more different, and I'm going to show you how to do a join using SQL. And this is something which most of you are probably keen on. So let's just clear this, and we'll do a copy of the script. And I'll call that join SQL instead of df. Alright, so this one's going to be quite lengthy, so bear with me on this. So let's comment out the data frame part. And the first thing we need to do, we need to create some tables. We need to create some temp view tables. So the first thing I'll do, I'm just going to put another heading in here. Let's just copy this. And I'll call that create SQL temp table views. And then I need to create those tables. So I'll say df followers. And just to free up some memory, I'm just going to overwrite the original table where I called it df followers. And it will be create or replace temp view, and then it's just really a table name, and I'll call that Twitter followers. So everything that was in my initial df followers, I'm now putting it into a table called Twitter followers, and so it's pretty much what I've got over here. That's now going in there. So just to clean this up a little bit, let me remove what I don't need. Don't need that, don't need that. Keep that for a sec. Don't need that. Don't need that, but I'll keep it for a sec. Save me from retyping stuff. And so The next one, the next table I'm going to have is dear friends. Okay, so let's clean that up a little bit, and I'll call that Twitter friends. Alright, so let's see what's going on here. So the original data frame is going into dear followers. I'm then creating a Twitter followers temp table. Sorry, I'm not overwriting dear followers, I beg your pardon. I'm creating an additional temp view based on that data frame, SQL temp view based on that data frame. And then what I'll do, I'll just list out those tables once I've created them. So I'll say print my Spark dot catalog dot list tables. Alright, so let's run that. And I think everything should be okay. Alright. Alright, so what I didn't do, I didn't put the parameter on the end. Alright, so here we've created the tables, and here we've listed out what those tables are. So here is the table, Twitter followers, and here's the other one, Twitter friends. So there's some other parameters which you could probably fill out over here. So table type is temporary. Alright, so now I've got my tables, I can write my SQL. So let me just grab this for a sec, print that out, which is going to be another heading. And we'll just call that join, or SQL join. And here's the fun bit, we're going to write our query. And I'm just going to write this as a multi-string Python variable just going to be a bog standard SQL query. So I'll say from. Now this is where we use our table names. So as you can see, I've specified a view, table view here, and I just call in that table like this. And I'm going to do a left join, exactly as you would write SQL. So that'll be Twitter friends. And I'll just give these aliases, so that'll be as T1, as T2. And then I'll say I'm going to left join it on T1 dot screen name equals T2 dot screen name. And then I'm going to order the column by T1 followers count, and I'll do that in descending order, so I can see all the ones, all of the followers following Museum of Youth Culture, of their followers, how many do they have, which allows me to understand how important they are. So in this bit here, I'll just get my columns, so T1 dot ID string. I'll just do that as ID string. So the next one will be again T1 created at as created at, I need to put a comma over here, and I don't have any data for the next one, but I'll pull that column in anyway. T1 dot created at date as created at date. I'm big on cleanliness of code, so I always like to see things in a particular way. So let's create some cleanliness. T1 dot screen name as screen name T1. Sorry guys, that's my phone. Let me answer that and get back to this. Alright, so I'm back. Okay, so where was I? Now there's 3 more columns that I want. I want screen name, which I've got. I want followers count. friends count. Let's see if I can spell friends without making a mistake. There you go. And then I don't need to pull this in, but I will, which will be screen name. So that way we can see that the join, where the join actually was, or is, where it's happening. Okay. So that's our query. And then what I need to do, I need to run that query. So I will say df equals myspark.sql. And you know, as I do these tutorials, I'm really hopeful that a lot of the mystery is taken out of Spark, and as you can see, it's really simple stuff, and it's really useful. It's really good. You know, it's such a good tool. And then what I want to do, let's go back up here, and I want to just grab this print stuff. And because I want to go all the way to the top of the folder, sorry, to the of the output of the data in show, I'm going to take out the df count, which gives me all of the rows, and I'm going to specify the first 100, and then I don't want to truncate, so I'm going to say truncate equals false, and that gives me the full width of the column, rather than, you know, just looking at a piece of it, a bit of it. And then this bit here, I'm just going to count the number of records that are in that data frame. Alright, so hopefully there's no errors, and I can run that. Okay, so it's just now going to do the count quickly. So 480 records. I'm not truncating. Maybe I should do a truncate. Yeah, let me run that again and truncate it, so that way we can see it better. Okay, there you go. I should have done this. Oh, hold on, it's not running it yet. Okay, so I should have done this at the beginning when I did the data frame join. and that way you could see everything nice and compact. So as you can see on my query, I've got string, created that date, screen, followers count, friends, and screen name, and I'm doing a left join on these. So left join followers to friends. So that's what's been returned, all of these columns. And where I've got a screen name, that's where there was a successful join. That screen name was in both tables. And then where I've got nulls, that's it wasn't in that table, and that's the whole thing with a left join. Vice versa, it would be a right join. And so what I've done, I've ordered it by followers count. So that way, from some Twitter data analysis, I can look at which followers I think would be important that the Museum of Youth Culture should follow, which they're not. So if they were running this sort of analysis, then they would fine-tune and optimize their Twitter account, so that way they're completely maximizing their reach and influence and getting other people to follow them, and that's what it's all about. So let's look at some of these. So you've got Smahal, that could be a person. Smahal one, again, Ray Earl, that could be another person, but they could be quite influential. 60,000 and 46,000 respectively. Gaze the word, that one is quite high. They're actually following that person or Twitter account. Football Museum, that's one that they should be following. Another museum there, they are following that one, that's okay. Fred Perry, British Path, where are some other ones? Victoria Mahoney, Writing NSW, Ruth Gray Images, London Culture, they are following. So you get the picture. So I just wanted to show you, these are the things that you would really use Spark to do. It means some common use cases. So, if you're coming from a background where you would typically do this stuff, then, if you wanted to do it on big data sets, you wanted to get that data from different clusters, do some parallel computation, getting large amounts of data, do joins, quickly, be able to get new database on that, do scheduled jobs, etc. Spark is ideal for this. If you weren't doing it in Spark, then what you may do, you may use an SQL database, which means you have to get that data in, you've got to clean that data before you do, you have to specify the columns, SQL is rather slow, you have to do indexes, but doing it this way, you can have raw files, different types of file formats, you can do all your cleaning within Spark, your transformations, you can do your joins, you can do SQL if that's your preference, you could do RDD joins, you could do data frame joins, so whatever is your flavor. So this gives you a good insight as to what Spark is capable of and what it can do, because for most people coming into this, you would have heard of Spark, but one of the biggest questions is, well, what does it do? Why would I need it? I'm already using SQL. I'm already doing it a different way, an older type of way. And so this is a really good example of why you would use it, what it can do, and how it can make things a lot more efficient and faster and a lot better for you. And I'll come back with another tutorial of some more progressed advanced stuff of what we can do with Spark. Cheers.